And look, I mean, just coming back to this idea of the implications of a change to the Constitution versus just changing a law or just creating another Aboriginal advisory body.
Because we've got loads of them, dozens and dozens and dozens.
Well, they're all doing
dozens.
a great job.
Yeah.
So we should have one more.
Yeah.
What is it that makes that difference? I mean, it comes down to the fact that if something is enshrined in the Constitution, then the High Court is limited in what it can interpretation.
It's opened up. So the actual wording that's been proposed is that this voice body, nobody knows how it's going to be chosen. You can get the details later. And the wording is may make representations to Parliament and the Executive on matters relating to Aboriginal and Torres Islander Strait peoples. So may make representations. There's lots of scope for the High Court to turn that into a constitutional right to be consulted. Not just Parliament, but every executive decision. So that's every bureaucratic body. You can imagine the rent seeking that's going to happen. You can imagine the sort of sclerotic ability. My guess, and John O'Sullivan had a law that said every body in the world that's not explicitly right-wing over time becomes left-wing. The activist class will capture this body. And I think one of the reasons Labor's not too worried about this is it's a bit like the Senate. If you want to be a big spending government, just spend like crazy. You never have a problem getting through the Senate. Because these little independents just go, oh yeah, more money for... If you want to cut back on the budget and do something really restrained, it's very difficult to get that through the Senate. Well, it's going to be like that on steroids with this voice body. Its sort of baseline set of views will be sort of right there with the Green Party. And so when Labour gets in, they won't really have too much problem getting their more spending, more identity politics laws through they'll line up with the voice body. Anything that a Conservative Party wants to do, well, the voice body isn't going to like it. Now, they don't have a veto, but they can slow things down considerably. And who knows the extent to which the High Court will take this may make representations, turn it into a constitutional right to be consulted. How long do they have to be consulted? And you can imagine how sclerotic this is going to become.
Now, people are going to say to you, "Oh, you're just a right-wing nut job, racist." They'll throw every nasty phrase they can, and they'll say, "Oh, you're just picking on minute details, and these minute details are going to be amplified." They're saying they're going to be amplified in a way that we can't predict. They're going to be amplified. We can predict, sort of, can't we?
We can predict. So I brought this so I got the wording right. So a couple of years ago, in a case called Love, this is with the Constitution we have right now, there were some, one was New Zealand born, I think one was from Papua New Guinea, and they had moved to Australia, but they had not become citizens, and they had committed criminal offences.
These are Indigenous Aboriginal Australians?
They claim to have Indigenous links. And so when they got out of jail, it's quite standard for governments to deport people who aren't citizens after they've been convicted of criminal offenses. They've spent their time in jail. And these two went to the High Court and argued that they can't be deported. Remember, they're not citizens.
They committed the crimes in Australia?
In Australia, can't be deported. And it's because and so this was the Love case. And the judges, and I've never really read a case like this, and I've wasted 25 years of my life reading high constitutional cases from Canada and the US and Britain and here. But
so we don't have to.
Yes,
we need to appreciate you more, James. We need to appreciate you.
So the High Court majority justices, they grounded their ratio. So this is what they said. The reasoning was, and it came to whether these were concepts such as, and I'm not making this up, otherness, deeper truth, a connection to Australia that is spiritual and metaphysical. At this point, you're wanting to vomit, but I will keep going. And they combined this all together to say that our Constitution now recognizes, and this is a quote, that Indigenous peoples can and do possess certain rights and duties that are not possessed by, cannot be possessed by, non-Indigenous peoples of Australia. And they go on, different considerations apply to a person of Aboriginal descent.
Hang on.
This is incredible.
Hang on.
Incredible.
Just go back to that last sentence and read that for me one more time, James. That is outrageous.
They concluded, this was the majority.
Are we allowed to say it's outrageous? I don't know if we're allowed to criticize. Is it contempt of court to criticize our judges?
No, you can criticize. You can criticize the reasoning.